Get out the insurance cards, get out the co-pays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
So let's get to it.
Bring the pain!
What's up, everybody? It's Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you and Dr. Roto this week. Oh, yeah! Woo! Now, what a weekend that was. I mean, from Thursday to Monday Night Football, and then my karate tournament, everything falling in line. Some things falling through, some things not. First, before we get to the Hard Hits Review, woo! Bring the pain! I want to say congratulations to our boy Trevor for taking it down last night. First place, 100K. That's the way you do it. That's the way you bring the pain, bring the cash. And you can do that at Dr. Roto using code word Trevor. So you could be our rich friend like him. We got the right cure for all of your fantasy needs because right now we got the NBA crew lighting it up. We got both Steves, just some guys named Steve. That's what we're doing. I know people are coming in right now, and I want to make sure that while we get everybody in here, I'm going to get some shares going, and I'm going to get it. So did everybody have a great weekend? I hope so. The chat is open. This is live, people, and we want you to be part of it. At the end of the show, I will be revealing my Macho Pick of the Week. Ooh, yeah, the Macho Man picking, yeah, right? And I also will be revealing my IDP player to pick up tonight. So your pickup of the night for your waiver wires is going to be really great. I actually went a single team on this one. So it's kind of funny how when I was doing the write-up, it all fell into place. And then I looked and I'm like, dang, that's what we do at Dr. Roto. So let's get some shares going on. If anybody is looking for anything in any of these, well, we got some comments going on yet? Nope, we don't got nothing. Let's get some banners going. Let's get some banners. Says, I get to have fun. I'm all alone today. I'm alone today. I can run my mouth. I am going to be running my mouth a lot, actually. I cannot, like, I'm a light a ref up. I'm a light up an owner. If you are on the YouTube version of this, you can already read the read of who I am going to light up. I am not happy about it. It didn't really overly cost us some money, but when I'm running my mouth, right, and me and Dan are running our mouths, and we're trying to give all of you the best information that all of you deserve, we don't need other people dropping the ball. Not when you have one job. You have one job, and that job is to not drop that ball. So, that being said, we will get to that part of the portion because I'm just going to light them up. You know, I have a skit on Bring the Pain called Things That Make Me a Jerk. This is the perfect situation where I'm going to be the jerk. I will be the jerk. And if nobody's going to be the jerk, right, for dude, and everybody's going to be scared to actually say something about it, then I'm going to say something about it because I don't keep my mouth shut. So I know there's a lot of people out there that actually find that pretty funny because I don't shut up. You know, the funny thing is that people always say that running a podcast alone can be one of the hardest things to do. Yet, I can do it because I run my mouth. So, that being said, let's get to it. Let's talk about the NFL over the weekend. UFC. Okay, don't shut up. You're not a jerk. Oh, bro, you're going to go listen to one of my episodes of Things That Make Me a Jerk. I'll have to send you those. Those are behind my paywall on my Spreaker. My Spreaker link is right there, right? So another congratulations I want to give out, other than Trevor, also is to the Ninja Posse in the Dr. Roto Guillotine League. Unfortunately, we weren't able to fill the league, so 8 of us were in it. Kickman, me, Fuego Steve, Fuego Steve's already talking. Steve, you talk as much as me. So, maybe not, but yeah, you know how I'm saying it, right? So, you know, when we're sitting there and we're looking back at it and we're getting all these things going on, I'm just like, dude, what are we doing here? Why are we messing with this? So the UFC, yeah, you do. So again, there's comments going on right now. We're live. And for me, the UFC had a little shiner this weekend, like the NFL. So I went 7-6. It's my worst week in a long time. I watched my boy RDR get beat and not do anything about it and look like a beast in the first round until he tired out, which is very unconventional like him, but whatever. Now people are calling him Ritter to Quitter, and that's the label you got, bro. That's why when I'm a point fighter, I go all in. I go all in. Because if you're going to put yourself in that situation, you should have dropped the match. Honestly, you should have dropped the match. Should have dropped out. You shouldn't have did it. You were the main event. I know that you don't want to be like, Macy Barber, but at the same time, you ended up being like Macy Barber. But you got in the ring. You got in the ring. And then there's excuses. Bro, I don't know what to tell you. But the fact that happened, we'll get to that match. So, went 7-6, went 1-3 on the Fight Club of Pain. I don't like that. I took 2 underdogs and RDR lost. So you could call it what it is. It's the first bad week. I don't think 7-6 is bad, but also I was focused on myself, my karate tournament, my weapons form, and my fighting. So unfortunately, and I have linked that sometimes on some of those weeks, I'm so overloaded, both at work and then, of course, at the site, the podcasting schedule, and in the dojo. I only had 1 day off last week. I've been in the dojo literally for out of the last 9 days, 7 days. So, and then, of course, the tournament. So when I'm doing all that, I just have so many things going other way. Now we're past that. I do have a tournament, the Champion of Champions tournament, that is happening in Batavia, New York. We have been cordially invited to the awards dinner as well, too. So I got to give respect out. My daughter pulled out. She's the overall points fighting champion in the black belt division of the MA Tour. So, woo! Good job. That's my mini, right? Mini override. Ooh, yeah. And I am the overall points fighting champion. I smoked everybody. I think I smoked everybody by 1,000 points. So practically a first place win is 400. I had 2,000 points, and the closest person to me was 600 points. So for me, again, when it comes to fighting, I take that very seriously because, look, unfortunately, sometimes I have to focus on what I'm doing in the ring rather than that. But 7-6, still a solid day. 1-3. Dan, unfortunately, went 0-4. We got a little crazy, man. But also, I want to say we got NBA content in the room. I know I switched that up real quick. NBA content in the room right now. Fuego Steve Bell have been just ripping it. So you want to get in there. We're going to have some bets. And then me, I'm like the late night hero. I'm the showdown captain. I come in at the end and I'm like, Steve, what's up? Might throw some hockey bets in. Dude, this is why you're part of Dr. Roto. Use code word Trevor, right? So let's hit it back up. So I did that. So I want to pull out a few things, a few hits that, I thought the Ultra Contrarian show did pretty well overall. Caleb Williams, I'm done with you. I'll get to crappy quarterbacks in a minute or in a second, right? Jonathan Taylor, did I not say you put Jonathan Taylor in your lineup? But Saquon Barkley and the Eagles, y'all stink. Again, we'll talk about that when we talk about quarterbacks, right? Justin Jefferson showed up, but Luke McCaffrey, the fact that I let that man into my head, it's never happening again. I'm not going to roster or try to recommend any more receivers that are on teams with running quarterbacks. I'm just done with y'all. Y'all suck. You go into that game, you're supposed to be, and you was 11% on. You were 11% on. And we're sitting here looking at you catch nothing. Bro, I could catch the ball. I'm an athlete. I know how to get open. Believe me. And if I would have been at the Fantasy Football Expo last year when Des Bryant showed up, I would have locked that boy down too. Don't think I don't play. I play. I'm fast. I'm a ball hawk. and I'll catch that ball on you. I'm a beast, right? That's why I got Bring the Pain tattooed on my arm. So when I use my reverse punch, it looks like this. Yeah, you get it now. That's how we roll it, and that is the content that we provide. Yeah, I'm cocky, but when you're the overall grand champion, you got a reason to be. So, that being said, so Wilson really worked out. Now, here's the thing. I didn't want Marvin Harrison in this game. I wanted him to be out because I got Michael Wilson at 0.17%. 0.17%, right? And he only scored 7 points. But the savings I was able to get with him was great. Also, Harold Fannin came in at 10% owned. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with the 10% Harold Fannin. I thought he would have been higher owned than that. So I did sway off of a few lineups to Mason Taylor. And he did all right too. Not the best of weeks. But you had to have somebody like Jonathan Taylor in your lineup and not Saquon Barkley. Now, I do want to say the Titans defense, which I highly recommend and me and Steve talked about, and it was because of Steve, Fuego Steve, that I jumped on that bandwagon a week later, and I was able to get the Titans defense at almost 2% owned on a major slate. Now, I know that the Titans defense didn't ball out like the Texans did last night for our boy Trevor. Yeah, woo, right? 100K, that's what we do, represent, right? But Jordan Mason at 8%, who I switched off of Breece Hall, even though I gave up Breece Hall on the Ultra Contrarian show, like me and Steve talked about, things were changing. We did not like this slate. We didn't like the backups. We didn't like a few of the matchups. We thought some were killer. This was a week you had to eat chalk. You had to. You really had to, right? And you couldn't play someone like Caleb Williams because that dude's a bum. He's a bum. You're a bum, dude. Pick your game up. How you got all these receivers around you and you can't play ball? You literally got DeAndre Swift going nuts 2 games ago, right? Oh, and DeAndre Swift, I came off of him for Breece Hall. And he was the Macho Pick of the week. I moved the Macho Pick to Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason did just as well, if not better. But that being said, 8% owned on Jordan Mason. That was a great pivot. Maybe not paid out overall. Again, I put out the cash game lineups, and I was able to score a little bit of money on that. So we'll call those some wins. Now, getting to the UFC side of things, and then I'll do my UFC run through because that's going to lead into some anger issues, some big anger issues. And if a lot of you people have never met the Painbringer, I think Steve got introduced to the Painbringer last week, but it was the first time. He's like, whoa, when this guy goes on a rant, he goes on a rant. So, that being said, I got Vera, Cheeto Vera, he lost, but Cheeto Vera, 18%. I got Mike Malott, 29%. I will get started. Drew Dober, 28%. I will get started. I got Santos, 17%. But here was the kicker. And that's because I take my boy Kev, right? Bro, you let me and the whole world down. His opponent, Belagorau, was 2% owned on the major slate. That's like being 0.05% on a baseball or NFL slate lineup. I'm telling you, that was insane. That was a hell of a play by the 2% people that played that because it worked out for him because they got that third round knockout. But Boy Kev, as my captain, did return a little bit. I was still able to cash, so that kind of worked out. Now, this Thursday, me and Dan are back on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Fight Club of Pain. We will be live, as always, answering your questions, talking UFC 321. Aspinall versus Gane. I'm going to tell you right now, Tom Aspinall's winning. And I'm going under. There's your free bet for the week. You get that bet now before it explodes. It's already high enough. You need to. But for the finish, the true finish and how we're going to do it and how me and Dan are going to attack that slate, you will have to tune in. I'm telling you, the magic, even after a week we got whooped, the magic that we were able to do is still outstanding. It's outstanding. So, that being said, you want to check that out. So let's get to some of the hits here. So, as per the show, we recommended Brandon Allen, decision no bet, plus 154, right? We also had no distance on the fight. We were able to get that at negative 260. Also, we got the negative 196 on the Drew Dober fight. We'll run our mouse with that. We also did pick Belgrau fight to go under on Bukiv's side. And we also parlayed that in the subs only Discord at Dr. Roto. Parlayed that with Drew Dober knockout sub. We'll get to that. But here, this is what we got. We got the fight doesn't go the distance for a negative 148 on Bruto. But when the whole world thought Manon Ferro was done, when Dan thought we was done with Manon Ferro after she got beat by Shevchenko, right? We were wrong. Well, we'll get to let's do the rundown. Let's do it. All right. Croden, wax, got that. Boykev took that loss. I'll take it. Luciano won, got that. Drew Dober. All right, let's get to it. So, at the end of the Fight Club of Pain, people can come into our show and talk stuff. Me and Dan didn't really have a heckler, but we had a guy watching us. We had a guy, and he's talking, and he's going, I got Prepelic knockout 850. Drew Dober's going down. I'm like, no, I believe in Drew. Dan's like, no, I believe in Drew as well, too. Right? So let me hit this beer. My boy Dan got me. Lemon slice. All right. So, dude goes, Drew Dober's done, and it's not going to happen. Prepelic has never been finished in a UFC fight. Well, he's only had one other one. Anyway, let's get to it. He said there was no way it was going to happen. And the one thing that the Fight Club of Pain does probably better than most people, especially this is what we are. We're a finishing podcast. We can give you picks for days. I went still 7-6. But we nail finishes. We nail how it's done. And we do that through fight theory. We do that with Dan being an ex-boxer / wrestler and me as a current point fighting champion. So, to be that good, it actually takes skill. I'll explain this real quick. So, I fought an individual 3 separate times. 2 times, he did a spinning hook kick on me, right? And he's done that before, multiple times. We fought a couple other times. Now, that spinning heel kick, I normally would just counter with my reverse punch to his side because I'm fast enough. I am a great counter fighter. I'm a counter fighter first, but I'm highly aggressive. So that being said, I have the best of both worlds. It's like I'm Hannah Montana. Call me Rabba Montana because that's what we're making the moolah, right? So with that being said, I'm able to see, telegraph, and do this stuff. But my skill level had increased so much since the last time I seen him. An easy punch just seemed like it was weak. It seemed too easy. So I went with a side kick. And that is on my YouTube, or not my, it is on my YouTube. Go to my X and look at my pinned attack. That's it. That's how fast. And I bring this up for a reason because that is the expertise we take into this. I'm a highly aggressive individual. And we talk about finishes on the Fight Club of Pain. And that is why they happen. Drew Dober made everybody that thought Drew Dober wasn't going to win look good. Now, he was the favorite. So a lot of people are like, hey, I picked Drew Dober. But did you really? Did you really know that he's had a glass jaw? Do you know that we won a lot of money off of Drew Dober getting knocked out last time. All right. So that being said, when we take everything together, we were willing to make that play. We were willing to play Drew Dober knockout and submission. We were willing to play Dober knockout. And that wasn't even covered on the Fight Club of Pain. That was covered as an extra bonus match. And that is why you need to watch. Because you can read the 5-tastic picks. You can read the Soup Can of the Week, which was Drew Dober. And Drew Dober got the knockout. Dan wanted the second round knockout for the plus 600. Dan got the third round knockout. That's why we say play second, third round knockout for a second round. We nail it, right? So when you come into our chat and you say, and this gentleman could have been right, could have went to distance, and you say, call us out that something isn't going to happen, try to make sure it doesn't happen. I don't know what you got to do, because guess what? We were right. We were right. And even though Dober was losing probably that match going into that third round, like a true hero fighting for his contract in the UFC, Drew Dober went out there and he slayed. Yeah. Woo! Love it. All right. Let's get to Danny Barlow and Jordan Santos. Santos was awesome. Should have picked him. Didn't. I picked Barlow. I picked Barlow against Patterson, too. I'm done with you, bro. You suck. Like, okay, I get that everybody doesn't want to be active. And when I decide to go into my counter stance, I'm not as active. When I fight a 6'5" individual, I am not highly active because I have to pick and choose my points. But Barlow, you're not even picking and choosing your points. You almost knocked Santos out. And it was like the more you beat his face and made him look ugly, the stronger he got. So it was like rivals. It was like Rival Turf or whatever that game was back for the Super NES. Rival Brothers, whatever, and you got angered. And he beat the brakes off you, frickin' Barlow. You suck. Dude, next fight, I am literally going to take the knockout prop against you because I want to see you get knocked out. I can't do it myself. Maybe. But I want to see you get knocked out, bro, because you deserve it after that. But I did see you get knocked out against Patterson. We did have the under on that fight. So Patterson still won us money. But after 2 picks, I'm done with you. Go back. Dude, you remind me of Jamal Hill. Get out of here with that crap. We ain't trying to play that game. All right. Hung Sung Park versus Bruno Silva. I like Silva. I like his volume. And I did not pick him. I thought Park was going to be able to come back. Park looked horrible. What's wrong with you, bro? That's what happens when you fight soup cans. Dan talks about it all the time. There's levels to these games. Again, that's why I was able to stop using the punch and use the side kick. Because the side kick takes longer to pull out. But my reaction time's faster. It's all about getting better. Levels. There's just certain levels. Once you get to that level, only those levels can beat levels. Anybody else under that? Better hope the ref's on your side. All right, so I took that loss there. I did pick Charles Air Jourdain. Loved it. He smashed Davy Grant in the face. Now, I did pick Davy Grant in one of my DFS lineups. I only played 3 of them. But 18% owned. Just didn't work out. You weren't tough. Okay, let's get to it. Kyle Nelson versus Matt Frevola. Kyle Nelson finished Matt Frevola, which screwed all of my subs and Painbringers out of that under bet. Not only did it not screw them out of that bet, it also screwed the parlay, the mid-fight parlay, because I was already home for my tournament when everything started. It screwed stuff. Look, that fight had no reason to go to distance. I did pick Kyle Nelson. No reason to go the distance. He was knocked out. Frevola was getting straight pounded at the end of that match. And the ref, freaking Dan Michelada, let it go down. He let it go down. Then he steps in, calls the match. It's over. It's over. No, it's not. The round's over. There's the decision. And There's 3 seconds left on the clock. Everybody has already had the screenshots. Whatever kind of crap that was, that's bullshit. Bullshit. First, you stop that fight from that man getting his beat down going on. We talked about this. I freaked out last night when I got my knockout blow, but at the same time, I watched our dude get beat, his face beat in. Vincent Luque, man, he got his face beat in so bad. And the ref said that he got poked in the first round. And then the whole second round, he got his face beat in. So Alvarez had no other choice but to put him in a triangle hold and hold him down and pray he tapped, and he didn't. That fight screwed not only a lot of my parlays, but the parlay of pain, and also that's unacceptable, UFC. You got to make these people pay. Also, you betting sites, you sport betting, you FanDuel, DraftKings, anybody that made out from that, I got 2 words for you. Yeah, you get it. So, that being said, that is the volatility of any sport. Of course, individual, a ref may alter an outcome, but we still got the win. I picked Arichu Lang. He won. But then this is where I kind of got bad. So I picked Jasmine Judavicius. I picked Cheeto Vera. I just knew Zahabi was going to win that. Me and Dan just knew that. And I picked Mike Malott, and Dan picked Kevin Holland. Now, let's get back to it. Manon Fiorot was recommended on the show right here. There's your writing. Manon Fiorot, first round knockout, plus 1,400. Who gave you that? Who gave you that? Cue the Jeopardy music. We don't need 30 seconds. Who gave you that? Fight Club of Pain. Manon Fiorot, first and second round knockout, plus 850. Fight Club of Pain. Manon Fiorot, decision, no bet, negative 138. Fight Club of Pain. We nail finishes. That's what we do. I've said it this whole time. That's how we will represent. We will run our mouth, and we will admit when we're wrong. I was 7-6. I picked 6 wrong fighters. But in the betting game, I also nailed those bets as the no decision. So that's how we work it. Pick Jasmine and always play it. I mean, I added everything. In distance, yes, was a negative 380. Okay, so let me just tell you this. Jasmine's was great. She was on a surge coming up. But Manon Fiorot just fought for the title, and I know that means nothing. That means nothing. But what Fiorot was able to do to Blanchfield, and Blanchfield is a great wrestler, a great submission artist. You don't think that Manon Fiorot didn't see this before and see it from someone that's good, maybe better than Jasmine? Ugh. I was just hoping for Hometown Love. We thought that was going for, distance. We had the sub with Jasmine, second and third round plus 2,200. But that first round knockout was called and said by me because I knew there was a high chance that was going to happen because Jasmine can't slug and Fiorot sends nasty punches down the middle. And what happened? Nasty punch down the middle, knockout. And you had that at Dr. Roto, and you didn't have it anywhere else. So everybody's got their plays. Everybody's got their things. But I ain't seen no plus 1,400s out there. It's what we do. All right, let's go over with my next rant. Kevin Holland versus Mike Malott. Now, I don't mean there's already been a lot of controversy with the Vancouver card because of the Kyle Nelson fight. That's a lot of people. The sport books getting their distance when the knockout happened on the Nelson side. Like, you screwed out my knockout bets. I'm not going to go back into that. Mike Malott and Kevin Holland should have went under. And it could have won under. Then we had the ball punch, the kick. Then we have the suspect second one. The knee hits the abdomen low. And in my opinion, the shin shifted the cup. This has happened to me. Shifted the cup right into it. And Kevin Holland got over 5 minutes, which is past the amount. They brought multiple people in to check on him. Like a true Canadian, good old Mike Malott felt bad because he's a nice guy. And he likes that maple syrup. So he drank that maple syrup for the rest of that fight. He could have went out there and finished Kevin Holland. After that, Kevin Holland was clearly uncomfortable when they started fighting with over a minute left in that first round. And he didn't go after him. He hit him once, and Kevin got all weird and was about to fall, and Mike just sat there. Malott, what the hell was that? Go finish him. He can go put ice on him in the back, bro. What the hell was that? Like, you're sitting, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. So then, the second round, boy wasn't even throwing any kind of combos. Like, you could still see, now, between the first and second round, the 30 seconds was over, and they were still messing with Kevin Holland. This is what backs my theory that Malott is soft as shit, right? So, we get back into that. We get it right there, and now we're going to second round dancing contest. What? You are choosing to not finish and fight. Like, you messed up. But you're in a fight. If you get fight of the night and you knock out Kevin Holland, you could get a fight bonus. Nope, that's not what Mike Malott did. Third round, same old bullshit. And I'm like, dude, whatever. The only losing line of the parlay of pain. Got called out for that. Now, the parlay that we made included a few of those finishes that just didn't happen. The Boykev one didn't happen. Should have just played the no distance. But do call me out because it was a 5-leg parlay and a plus 551. We had Boykev, distance, no. Got that. Dober, knockout sub. We're right. Moneyline, Luciano, got that. Holland, no distance. I ain't even going to talk about you, bro. You represent your nation completely. Y'all nice, eh? I love Canada. I go up there. I will party on Clifton Hill all day long. Niagara Brewing Company, give you a shout out. Much love. The Works Burgers. I don't care what you feel about that. I like those burgers too. But I'm telling y'all nice. We also had DeRitter no distance. So, we got it. But all in all, 4 out of the 5 legs hit. The 4 legs hit. The 3 legs hit. All the combinations of the 3 legs. It returned more money than I needed. So, that being said, we did do what we were supposed to do. Now we're to the main event. The main event! Rainier the Quitter versus Brendan the Beast Allen. I'm calling him the Beast. I love both these guys. Both these dudes were great. But RDR went out in that first round and manhandled him. And then, apparently, due to the rotavirus, he gassed out immediately, had a broken hand. Whatever happened, he got mounted and he was sat there and could not get out of anything. He tried to use his legs and it wasn't working. He almost had a finish at the end of that second round. But here's the thing. After that, he kind of just laid there. He laid there from physical exhaustion. I knew that the under was going to happen. I knew he was getting finished. I knew there was going to be a finish in this. But yes, I did say DeRitter was going to win. And maybe he should have, but he didn't. So now Imavov is definitely the front runner to get that shot at the title. And that's the way it's going to go. Call me out. I think Imavov gets it. Brendan Allen don't get it. And he even said it himself too. He'll take a match with DDP. That would be a hell of a match, right? He said he wants Sean Strickland. I think Sean Strickland DDP happens, honestly. But at the same time, we were able to get that under. And that's what we returned. Also, on that same thing, we recommended the decision no bet, like I said. Knockout sub plus 250, Brendan Allen. definitely got that as well too. Knockout, first, second, third round. We missed on that. But we had the sub third, fourth, and fifth round. It was a stoppage. So yeah, I missed those. And I was close to getting a lot of those. And it was about what we do, what we recommend, the teamwork that Dan and I and the rest of the Fight Club behind scenes that talks, but on the show, it's Dan and I do for everybody at drroto.com. You really got to get there. You got to join up. I know a lot of people may give better UFC advice, may give the same, or give worse, but you're getting the UFC advice. You're getting the NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, and, of course, the optimizer. Everything fits into line. I mean, and you're getting somebody won $100,000 last night, Trustin Trevor. You're getting Dr. Roto's advice. You're getting Dangerous running his thing. You got Justin now. They gave out a 212-point lineup on DraftKings on the weekend show for their single slate entry. I can't stress more than enough of why you need to join Dr. Roto using code word Trevor and to show that kind of what's going on, because it's magic. All right, let's get a little mad and let's give you the IDP player pick of the week for tonight and the Macho pick of the week. All right, before I get into that, we're going to get a nice little drink. 3 seconds. All right, let's do it. Thanks for those beers, Dan. Tastes great. Woody Johnson has called out and literally talked down on Justin Fields. Now, I get that Justin Fields didn't do anything to really help himself in this situation at times, especially after that horrible game 2 weeks ago. And then you came out and you was flat. And everybody ridiculed the Steelers last year. Why are they benching Justin Fields? Justin Fields is the best. Why are they benching him? So Russell Wilson can throw the ball. Russell Wilson throws the ball. I don't care what your opinions of are Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. The Pittsburgh Steelers made a bunch of you look like fools. And they made Woody Johnson look like a fool. Now, Woody Johnson wants to run his fool-ass mouth and talk shit on Justin Fields? Bro, you're the one that paid that man to come to New York. Do you forget that? Was it a bad decision? Look, even in my bad decision, I still nailed some finishes. We nailed a lot of finishes on this. Those were in the subs-only Discord. But I was fighting for most of the day, so you guys got to understand it wasn't as active. But you could just join, go check the chat, and go back and you can just scroll up. See the green screens. So, that being said, you knew what you were getting into. When I gave my preseason analysis and drafted Breece Hall in the Scott Fish Bowl, I said the one thing that I don't like about Breece Hall is that Justin Fields is his quarterback and that Justin Fields will take goal line touches like he did from Najee Harris last year for the Steelers. I was right, because Hall has just not been able to find the end zone, and now he will. As a matter of fact, Hall could probably have 2 touchdowns. Who knows? But the fact is, Justin Fields wasn't going to let that happen. You knew what you brought to New York. You knew what you were paying for. You knew that. And you still did it. And now you want to run your mouth. The first thing that Woody Johnson should have said was, I'm sorry to the fans. I made a bad decision. I thought Justin Fields would fit our system, and clearly he does not. I mean, the fact that you got a PPR machine in Garrett Wilson, you have a great rookie tight end with Mason Taylor, you have a phenom in Breece Hall, and not including this last game 2 weeks ago, what me and Steve talked about on the Ultra Contrarian show, is an excellent weapon out of the backfield, and you don't pass him the ball, you don't target him, you give him 22 rushes. 22 rushes. like he's Jerome Bettis, 22 rushes. Dude, you need to hire me to run that team because everybody running that team doesn't know anything. They don't. And I don't care. Aaron Glenn, I don't care. I don't care. You can come at me in the comments if you want to join. Woody Johnson, that was an asshole move. And the fact that you want to talk on him like you didn't sign that check is the reason you get called out on Bring the Pain. Yeah! Don't play around, dude. Know what you get. Leads to the next thing. People like, quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts run first. Quarterbacks that just don't work out. You could go back Vince Young. You could go back Cam Newton. Amazing years, amazing talent. Bad decision making. Colin Kaepernick. That boy was getting benched. Nobody cares about what happened. I mean, y'all do. I don't. I don't give a crap, right? I just care about that man, as a Rams fan, I used to love playing that idiot, right? Dude, the Rams would jack him up all the time because we had a great rush. And with Robert Quinn, the Mighty Quinn. Y'all, what about Grant Wisdom? What y'all know about Grant? That's my guy, right? My boy, Will Witherspoon, right? So, that being said, they just don't work out. But the fact that you guys put a bunch of, faith in them and that they're going to work out is beneath me. Look what happened this week. Jaden Daniels had a great game, but was it okay? No, Luke McCaffrey couldn't get the ball, so we're not spreading the ball. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes is out here looking like the greatest show on turf back in St. Louis. Everybody's getting a touchdown. Got Rashid Rice returning 2 touchdowns. Just you could see that happening a mile away. The guy I talked about all season long that would be amazing for the Chiefs, Hollywood Brown. And at the same time, everybody's just catching touchdowns. Yeah, Pacheco scoring. Isaiah Pacheco. Really? Breece Hall needs to get on the Chiefs. Because if Breece Hall was on the Chiefs, I don't think they'd lose another game the rest of the year, including the Super Bowl. So, whatever, Mr. Hunt, go get Breece Hall. Because Woody Johnson has his head so far up his arse that he'd probably make the trade. You could probably trade Chris Jones. And Isaiah Pacheco for Breece Hall. I would so do that. And give him a second-round pick, third-round pick next year. Dude, get Breece Hall on the Chiefs. Can we not? I don't care about anybody else. I want Breece Hall on the Chiefs. Okay? But that's my little rant. That's my rant. But you can't have these. This is why, again, going back to levels, going from PFL to the UFC, going from Bellator to UFC, Dan's most hated guy, Patchy Mix. And I wanted to love Patchy, but he sucks. These Bellator people just don't work out in the UFC. It's the same thing. There's levels, man. Patrick Mahomes will always be better than a quarterback like you could say, I don't want to say Lamar Jackson or like Josh Allen because they are really good and Josh Allen has developed into a great quarterback. But the Ravens and the Eagle fans know, and I don't care about what Jalen Hurts did last game, the fact that they, in that loss, had to do 4 tush pushes to score a touchdown shows there's no offensive creativity. Sean McVay has more offensive creativity in his finger than the Eagles organization as a whole. And I'm just saying that. It clearly shows that we can get Puka the ball, we can get Devontae Adams the ball, we can run Kyron Williams, we can work in Tyler Higbee, we can have Davis Allen touch a touchdown, and none of y'all will see it coming but the Rams fans, because that's what a great offensive mind does. Andy Reid gets everybody involved. Right now, what's going on in Indianapolis with Danny Dimes, and that's one of the rare times I didn't say no Dimes, is great. He's getting the offense involved, but he doesn't have to because Jonathan Taylor shows why running backs are and should be the first picks you make in fantasy football, and you should make that next year. Anybody that receives, I don't care about the Jamar Chase. Call me out, whatever. I'm taking Bijan all day. I'm taking Jonathan Taylor all day. I have both those guys on a team, and that team has only lost one game and just smoked a team 297 to 140. So all I got to say is, and that's what James Cook off. So, this is what great things do. You got to get those backs and then get those late round receivers, people like Devontae Adams. Get those guys and get them into your lineups because those are the people, that's the value you need. So I have no disrespect for, I guess, the running quarterback, the position. The problem is all running quarterbacks. Go check the years. When's the last running quarterback that played to age 45? When was the last one? Would a running quarterback ever do what Tom Brady has ever done? And I hate Tom Brady as a Ram fan, but hey, whatever. Do balled out. Can he? No. Why? Because they don't take those extra hits. Quarterbacks already get waxed. Okay? Quarterbacks get waxed already. You taking sideline hits and doing all that crazy stuff happens. And that is why Jaden Daniels is hurt again. This is the pure proof that once those guys take off, things can happen. All right, everybody. That's my rant. Those are the covers. Let's get to the IDP pick of the week. Go to your waiver wire. You could probably put $1 on this guy or $0. We're talking about Teddy Buchanan of the Baltimore Ravens. There's a hint for the Macho Pick of the week. 100% snap rate for the year. He is 7% owned right now, coming off of a bye. He has 47 tackles, a half a sack. In the past 2 games before the bye, he had 24 tackles and that half sack. He is literally about to light it up. He had a 15 tackle performance and a 9 tackle performance. Baltimore's defense has been bad all year long. And as long as they remain bad, that gives you more opportunity for tackle, and that will allow you, with a guy that's at 100% snap rate the entire season, 7% owned, even though he was on bye, to get him and be part of your team. That's a guy that comes out of nowhere and can win Rookie of the Year and stuff like that, but he's not. He won't. That's GNT. If it can work out. So, go get him. That's your IDP player, IDP hero. I'm always looking out for you. But let's get to it.
Knock, knock. Ooh, yeah, it's the Macho Man Randy Savage. Ready to bring the pain. Dig it? Yeah. Had a little player for you last week, and then Mr. Heat Override changed him, and I didn't like Mr. Heat Override. I was still on the Andre Swift train, yeah.
But this week, Steve, if you're watching this still and not in basketball world, I'll be at you in a minute. I'm going to tell you right now, you going to love me, bruh. It's your boy, Derrick Henry. He getting the macho rub. That means Derrick Henry's going to probably score 2 touchdowns this week. Why? Because Judkins just ran up the Miami Dolphins. And if the Miami Dolphins can run up, the Ravens cannot lose anymore. And even though the Steelers want to lose easy games, the Ravens cannot lose anymore. Cannot. So that means Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry have to be a staple. But right now, you don't want to take too many hits on your running quarterback, and you want to give the ball. Judkins had 25 carries. In Derrick Henry's game against the Rams, he had 24 carries against a solid defense that smoked them. Sorry to my buddy Justin, too, for talking about your Ravens. But it's what happens. For 122 yards and even caught a pass on my Rams. The Rams had a great run defense, and Miami does not. They're in shambles. Tua sucks. Hill's laughing at everybody. The ownership is crazy. And A-Chain is just like, okay, give me the ball. But they suck so bad that they can't even get him the ball half the time. But he does seem to score, so good job, A-Chain. But Derrick Henry as the Macho Pick of the week. Look, FanDuel, 8,000. You ain't trying to fade me, FanDuel. You ain't trying to fade me, FanDuel. But DraftKings, $6,000? You're $100 more than DeAndre Swift. And I know I just talked DeAndre Swift up. DeAndre Swift, Derrick Henry, Ravens can't lose. Bears suck. Nobody cares. Let's throw them out. The Ravens cannot lose. They shouldn't lose to the Miami Dolphins. Derrick Henry is going to go over 120 yards. He might go 200 yards, honestly. If you want to get ballsy, 2 touchdowns, 200 yards, I bet that parlay is like a plus 4,500. But whatever it is, he is going to be a staple for my lineups. Like I told you with Bryce Young and Taroa McMillan, once you get that Macho Pick of the Week rub, you just perform, and they always score, except Kyron Williams with under a minute in the game on the line at the 1. They just didn't want to give it to him. Whatever. That's when he was the Macho Pick a few weeks ago. So, have a great day, everybody. Get to Dr. Roto, use code word Trevor, and become our rich friend like our guy Trevor. Again, congratulations to Trevor. Congratulations to the Ninja Posse for winning the Dr. Roto Chopped League. We're going to be running that one back. So that draft will be fun. It's time to get some basketball, some late night showdown going, some late night bets. We got everybody bopping. Have a great day. And always remember to bring the pain. Ooh, yeah. Don't cheat out us our money, ref. We just want to play games. And Woody Johnson, you're a jerk.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. Until the next visit, be well and take care.